Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, elephants and zebras, gypsies and the she. So, this video is a little different from many of my videos. Come here, little lady. You want to say hi to the world? Oh, that's a camera. You know what's on the other side of a camera? People. And I know that you're scared to death of people. Yeah. Say when my PT and OT come over to help, she runs like the world's coming to an end. Don't you, Misty? Say yes, I do, Daddy. And it's also because of me that Daddy's camera is stuck. Okay, there she goes. Okay. So this video is going to be a little different. It's not all that unusual to show our babies. So this video is about something that's very confusing to me. Okay? Very confusing. It's about, and I don't know the right terminology and all that kind of stuff. This is about transgenderism. Now, I love Steven Crowder. I don't know what I should say I love Steven Crowder, but I like Steven Crowder. And it's actually because of Steven Crowder that, Louder with Crowder, Mug Club, that changed my mind, that I'm even more confused. Even more freaking confused. Okay, so I think he was in Austin. You know, I remember when Austin was a small town or a small city, nice little place, quiet. Not that anymore. But I think that's where he was, and he was talking about there are only two genders, and I tend to agree with him on that. I would say Steven Crowder is conservative, although compared to I hate when I forget some of these people's names. I can't remember his name. He's conservative, he's Jewish, but the left likes to call him a Nazi, even though he's a Jew, an observant Jew. But I don't remember his name right now. Compared to him, I would say Steven Crowder is not all that conservative, because makes him cringe sometimes, eh? But so Mr. Crowder sat down, and actually a trans person sat down, male to female, sat down with him, and they were talking about studies that have been done and research that's been done, and this person was bringing up information that he did not have, and to some degree contradicted his information. Now, sometimes you do research over and over again, and you get the same results. Other times you do research and you get new results, and in this case there seems to have been new information from newer research. Part of me supports transgender and part of me doesn't, and I guess that's because I'm just completely confused by it, because no matter what operations you have, your genes and chromosomes are still the same. And there are people, I know there are a lot of people that don't like to admit this, but there are people that have gone all the way through the surgeries, have had all the surgeries, they live their lives as the opposite sex, and then they decide that they made a mistake. I do adamantly oppose taking 3-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds, and having them change genders, because anyone who can remember their childhood should be able to remember when they played dress up. It was pretend play, it was fantasy play, and I think, you know, most of us did that. So another thing for me is a lot of transgendered women only have partial surgery or no actual surgery. Is that person really transgendered? I mean, why are you keeping what's down below and the rest of your body is looking to be female? I don't understand it, okay? I just don't understand it. There is a video somewhere, I've seen it actually, several videos, and I don't remember the lady's name, and I am calling her a lady. She looks and she sounds like a woman. I don't know if she's a conservative or if she's libertarian. She's one of the two. And she goes to these events where people are espousing what we used to call political correctness, or you know, far leftist ideals, and people will call her a woman, and she'll say, "Stop! Wait a minute! I'm a man." She says, "I still have everything downstairs. I'm a man." I'm like, so are you playing dress up, or are you? I mean, are you being? I mean, I'm talking about this woman in particular. Is she playing dress up? Is she doing it to shock people? Is she doing it to make a point? What, hon? Yeah, that's true. Well, my wife just... Yeah. Yeah, my wife just pointed out that, and she's right, I didn't think of it, that some cannot have the downstairs surgery until they have the money for it, because presumably it's quite expensive. And what were you saying about the breast? Yeah, well, yeah, she's right. You know, they start taking hormones. You know, and it can take a while, because I've had, you know, actually I had a friend in high school who, you look at her today, and you look at her in high school, she's a woman. I mean, you know, that's John. John, you want to say hi? So I like to get in front of the camera, and I got out last night for a few hours. You gonna look at the camera, or you gonna look at the door? Say, I'm looking at the door because I want to go out. I want to go hunt and eat grass. But what? Yeah. So, you know, I don't... Okay, John, come on, buddy. So those who know me know that I'm lowercase L libertarian, insofar as I don't support any political party, but I support, generally speaking, the libertarian idea, or I generally support libertarianism insofar as, you know, if somebody wants to cut their body up, that's their business, it's not mine. Now, if you're doing it to a juvenile, that's a problem. I do have a problem with that. Wait till they grow up and let them make that decision. Don't do it while they're juveniles. To me, that is child abuse. If they insist on living as the other gender, then maybe that's okay, but no surgery or hormones until they are of age. So I am pretty strict when it comes to that. Because they need to make that decision on their own without anybody, interfering with their decision making. But there is a guy who, and I have or had his book on my Amazon, in my Amazon cart, but my Amazon cart is full, and I keep adding stuff to it, which causes the cart to eliminate the things that were previously on it, because you can only put like 600 items on there. But I had his book on there, and I don't recall his name or the title of the book, but he, and I'm blurry. Okay. He had the surgery to become female. Then years later, he came to regret that choice. And I've heard of this happening. I don't know how widespread it is for people to change their mind after the fact. And look, I'm not going to lie. I am not going to lie about this. I have seen trans women that are some hot-looking women. You would never know that they were transgender. They, for all intents and purposes, they are female. And I honestly do believe that there are some people out there that do it for the shock value. I mean, you can find plenty of YouTube videos where that person's not a man, that person's not a woman, that person is saying they're trans, but figuring out exactly what they are, that's another thing altogether. And I think some people, at least right now, some people are doing it because it's a fad, it's the thing to do, so they're doing that. Hey, Misty. I'd show you her again, but she's over there. They like to unplug things, at least especially her and her brother Boo, because they play together the most, and they get back behind things and things get unplugged. But the camera's there, not over there. What? Oh no. Yeah. Oh wait, the lady who shot him? Oh. She shot herself? Twice in the head? Wow. That's hard to do, people. My wife is talking about I didn't even realize it was a woman that did it, the Rite Aid shooting today. It was today, right? Yeah, she shot herself twice in the head. That's kind of hard to do. I knew somebody years ago who had once taken a pistol, put it to her chest, like this, and pulled the trigger. And guess what? The bullet went straight through, didn't hit a damn thing that, it went through her. Yeah, she was trying to shoot herself in the heart, and it went right through her. This lady I knew back in San Antonio, and she survived it. But she and her girlfriend, they both had to keep paper bags over their hands, because they had to test for powder residue, because the police didn't believe her. They thought her girlfriend shot her. Yeah, but her girlfriend didn't have any powder on her. So anyway, folks, as for the lady that did the shooting today, my sympathy actually goes to the victims. I do feel, believe it or not, feel sorry for her, mainly for her family and friends, but most of my sympathy goes to the victims, because they didn't deserve that. You know, this is the whole existential thing. Excuse my language, but shit happens. You know, the randomness of life. You know, why? So anyway, so back to the whole transgenderism thing. Like I said, I have seen trans women that frankly are quite attractive, and you would never ever know that they had ever been male. And there are probably, what is it, Sonny and Cher, their daughter, now son, I guess, went from, what, female to male. But then, you know, like I said, I see these videos here on YouTube, and a lot of feminist groups oppose transgender women. I don't know exactly how to say that or how to explain it. They don't see them as women. You know, they see them as men. Years and years and years ago, there was a club or a bar I used to go to in San Antonio, and it was a gay bar. There were two of them that I went to because back then I could get away with getting completely wasted and they wouldn't cut me off. And the straight bars, they'd cut me off. So, you know, I mean, I was drinking a lot then, and I found places I could get away with drinking. And anyway, this one place, I don't know if it's still there or if it has the same name or not, and it was in the neighborhood where I went to college. So, you know, a lot of college kids went there and they weren't gay, like me. But the women, the genetic women, would not allow the trans women into the women's bathroom. I mean, they'd make a fuss about it. And then, frankly, there were some of these trans women in that particular bar they were not going into the bathroom to go to the bathroom. I'll leave it at that. And they would also try and get away with doing those kinds of things on the dance floor. And the bouncers would be like right on them and either tell them to stop or kick them out. I remember once I walked in, as the dance floor was that way, to the left, and there was a bar in there. There was up top was like a DJ booth. But when you walked in, there were two little bars in there, and there was this one transgendered woman, and as soon as a guy would walk in, she would pull her top down to show that she had breast, and like the barkeep would be like, you know, put it back on, or the bouncer would do something or say something. So, you know, some of them are like that, I guess, but so if you are transgendered, or if you are not transgender, I really don't care either way. I would like to hear from you because this is a subject I don't know about. I don't understand. And like Stephen Crowder has pointed out, genetically, you're still whatever you were born as. But and you know, well, you know, nowadays with the internet you can get all your medication online for really cheap. You know, you order it from overseas. Like I'm not going to say the names of any online pharmacies, but you can get them that way. And so I guess you wouldn't have to go through a doctor to, you know, but I mean, I don't even know what the process is. I mean, do you have to have, I don't know, I'm assuming, because I heard in the past that if you were transgendered, in order to actually have the surgery, you had to get like a doctor's approval, psychologist approval. There was a whole bunch of stuff you had to go through. I don't know if it's still that way. You could go to Canada, you can go to Indonesia, and you can have the surgery. I find it interesting that Indonesia is a predominantly Muslim country, yet they are really big into this whole transgender thing, which confuses me. But so I don't know. But so if you're transgendered, if you're not transgendered, all I would ask, regardless of where you stand on this issue, is please be polite to people. Please be polite to me. Please be polite to anybody who makes comments. Like I said, this is something I just don't understand. Maybe I'm not meant to understand it. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. So I will leave it at that. This is over 20 minutes long, almost 21. And I will say, I will bid you adieu. Guten Tag.